Hi everyone, welcome to this week's Take and Make. This week's project is Kinetic Sand. So we're going to be making that using some sand and cornstarch.
You'll also want to have some dish soap and we'll need some water.
So you're going to start out with a 1/4 cup of sand. If you're using one of our kits for this project, your sand is already pre-measured. It's a 1/4 cup, so just dump that in a bowl. And on top of that, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of cornstarch.
Next, we'll need about 3/4 of a teaspoon of dish soap.
So once you've got that all in there, go ahead and mix it up as best as you can. You want the cornstarch, the sand, and the dish soap to all mix together until it's nice and smooth. Try not to leave any lumps of anything in there.
So once that's all mixed up, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of water. We have 1/2 tablespoons, so you're going to see us do it twice. But you want 1 tablespoon of water. Mix that up.
When you add the water in, you want to mix it up really well. It's going to form kind of like a wet paste. That is okay. That's what you're going for. So now you're going to add another tablespoon of cornstarch into your mixture. When you add the cornstarch in and mix it up, it should bring it back to a drier texture. It's going to start to look like sand again. If it's still really wet, you can add a little bit more cornstarch. You want it to be about consistency that you can pick it up and start to form shapes with it using your hands. So this is about the consistency you're trying to go for right now. You see I can mold it and it'll keep the shape, but it still breaks apart pretty easily.
Now mine's a little more dry. Mine's more just about like sand. So in my case, and if yours looks like this, you'll want to add a little bit more water, very little. So because mine is as dry as it is, I'm going to add very little water, like 1/2 teaspoon. If you ever add too much water, you're just going to have to wait for it to dry a little bit longer.
So when you reach the right consistency, it should feel kind of like Play-Doh when you're playing with it, but it should still fall apart like sand, and you should still be able to break it apart easily. You can go ahead and start playing with it now. It's all set. If you let it sit out for a few hours and dry up just a little bit, it will get a little better sand texture. And then you want to make sure that anytime you're not using the kinetic sand, you store it in a Ziploc bag so it doesn't dry out completely.
So if you notice that your sand is starting to dry out, you'll just need to add more water to it. Very little again. And you can kind of rejuvenate it.
Video's over.